How to tell if your body is resisting ego death? How stored trauma blocks healing? Are you on the edge of giving up on ego death, feeling like no matter how hard you try, you just cannot silence the ego, like you've done the work over and over, but somehow it still runs the show? It hijacks your thoughts, your choices, your reactions, your actions. You tell yourself you're conscious, but your body is still in survival. And honestly, you cannot see a way out. You're tired, frustrated, and wondering, is true transformation even possible? If this is you, you are not stuck in your ego. Your nervous system is stuck in survival. You've been trying to dissolve your ego. You've meditated, you've journaled, you've done the shadow work, but you keep looping. Your patterns repeat. You know better, but you can't seem to shift. So what if I told you that your body doesn't want ego death because it thinks your ego is what's keeping you alive? This isn't just mindset, it is wiring. In this video, I'm going to show you 3 crystal clear signs your body and nervous system are actually blocking ego death, plus a step-by-step process to begin releasing trauma so your body can finally feel safe to let the ego dissolve. So, why the mind loves the ego in charge? Your ego didn't build itself alone. It had help from your nervous system. That is the reason the mind loves it when the ego is in charge. Every time you were shamed, neglected, or terrified as a child, your body built a defense mechanism. That tension in your shoulders, that tightness in your jaw, that shallow breath you didn't notice, that sudden urge to distract yourself whenever emotions arise. All of those are survival responses. They are your body's way of saying, let's not go there again. So for example, the last time you fully trusted someone and expressed love, you were betrayed or abandoned. Now, the nervous system builds this wall that says, I'll never be vulnerable again. I'll never be soft again. I'll never express love again. Because the last time I did it, it didn't turn out well. But when you recognize this pattern and you consciously try to let go of the ego, the body says, no, we remember what happened last time you were vulnerable. We are not doing that again. So the body resists. So this is why so many people hit a wall during ego death. They try to force evolving beyond the ego through consciousness without integrating the body where the trauma is actually stored. Now, here are 3 signs your body is resisting ego death and your nervous system is conspiring against your evolution. So, sign number 1 is this: you keep returning to old patterns, even after big insights. You have those breakthrough moments, clarity, epiphanies, you feel awake, expanded, conscious, ready to embody your higher self, but then a week later, you're back in the same loop, same triggers, same reactions, same wounds. Why? Because while your consciousness is trying to evolve, your nervous system is bracing. It's trying to stay the same. The ego isn't just mental, it's encoded into your body's survival patterns. So when your system senses change, it panics. It thinks this is unfamiliar. That means this is unsafe, and it pulls away. Sign number 2, your body reacts with anxiety or fatigue when you try to go deeper and surrender more. Ever notice when you sit to meditate or go deep into inner work, your heart races, you get sleepy, even agitated? That's not resistance, that is dysregulation. Your nervous system is trained to distrust stillness and vulnerability because in the past, those states weren't safe. This is trauma memory stored in the body, not as thoughts, but as automatic physiological responses. So when you try to let go, the body says, nope, that's too dangerous. Let's just shut it down here. Your ego isn't afraid of dissolving. Your body is afraid of what comes after the ego is gone. Sign number 3, you feel disconnected from the body, disoriented, or like you're somewhere out there and your body is down here in this material reality. This one is subtle but big. I've been stuck there for quite some time until I realized what I was doing. A lot of people chasing ego death end up disassociating from the body. You might feel light, floaty, even high vibrational, but your body feels disconnected, numb, or cold. This is sometimes confused with ascension symptoms. But really, it is a trauma response, disembodiment. When you disconnect from the body, you disconnect from the very place where ego patterns are alive. So they stay the same, unprocessed, unresolved, and they keep looping under the surface. Real ego dissolution only happens when the body and the soul are aligned, not when one escapes the other. Now, here is a 3-step process to release trauma and support ego death safely. When we talk about releasing trauma and supporting ego death, it's important to remember that it's not something you force. It is something you safely allow. So here is a simple 3-step process that I find deeply effective, not just for myself, but for many others like me on this path. So step number 1 is create safety first before any inner work. Grounding and nervous system regulation is crucial. Why? Because trauma isn't just in your mind. It is stored in your body. And ego death, as liberating as it sounds, can feel like actual death to your nervous system if you're not grounded. So start with your body. Start breathing slowly and consciously. Feel your feet on the floor. Name 5 things you see in the room. These simple actions signal to your body that it is safe now. You can also splash cold water on your face or use gentle breath work to tone the vagus nerve. This creates a regulated baseline because no true release can happen if your body doesn't feel safe. Step number 2 is about witnessing and validating the old identity without shame, without judgment. This is big. Most of our ego patterns, even the ones we hate, were formed to protect us. They helped us survive something. So instead of fighting those patterns and parts, get curious and ask yourself, who did I become in order to feel loved or safe? And let those answers surface, even if they are uncomfortable. Maybe it's the achiever, the people pleaser, the lone wolf. Whatever shows up, speak to it. Say, thank you for protecting me. I don't need you in the same way anymore. When we release shame around these old identities, that's when true healing begins, because ego death isn't about killing your ego. It is about freeing your ego from survival roles. It's not about ending the ego, but seeing it for what it is and no longer allowing it to be in the driver's seat. Ego death simply means it is no longer in charge. It is no longer the master. You are the master. And finally, step 3, let it express, not suppress. Your trauma didn't get stored in words, it got stored in energy. So let your body speak. This might look like dancing, yawning, crying, curling up, vocalizing. Give the body full permission to complete what it never could back when the trauma happened. Step number 4, repeat and embody the new choice. This is the space after the old has dissolved, the void. It can feel terrifying depending on how prepared you are. So now is the time to gently step into a new identity, not in your head, in your body. Move like the version of you that's already free. Breathe like someone who trusts life. Speak like someone who no longer needs to control everything. Even 2 minutes of this kind of conscious embodiment each day rewires the nervous system to trust what's next. So you are creating new pathways where freedom isn't just a concept, it is a felt experience. So remember, ego death without nervous system safety re-traumatizes, but ego death with presence and regulation liberates. I'll close it with this. Your ego didn't fail. Your body didn't betray you. They did their best to protect you, but now you are no longer in that old story. You are no longer that scared version of you. And ego isn't the enemy, and your nervous system isn't the villain here. They're just waiting for you to bring conscious love into the body. So you don't need to force your healing, you need to feel safe and let it unfold naturally. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more.